We play and call it work.
All right, so here we are with Luka. He is going to share his thoughts on the new contrast system. And basically, Luka, how long have you been into the wargaming hobby?
So I've been playing since 3rd edition 40K came out, on and off. Naturally, not the whole time. I stopped in high school, so for the last, I'd say 19 years of my life. Except, give or take a few years here and there. But painting, like almost not at all. Maybe in the last 4 years.
But you do painting on your models.
I do.
Your armies are fully painted.
Yep.
And you painted them, for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I've seen your models, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with your models. They look really good.
Why, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Well, no, they look good. I mean, and they're fully painted. I mean, I can't even say that. I mean, look at my Eldar army, right? I mean, it's not even fully painted, so you've got one up on me, buddy.
So the idea here is this happy little necromancer is going to be filling out a force in my my Warhammer Fantasy Battle army. So I'm going to be, I am expanding that. And I heard people want to see spacewolves gray, so I figured I'll paint a little bit of this cloak gray. That'll be this.
You're going to do the big portion or the little portion?
Sort of the big portion, the underslung cloak gray, and then the top part here is going to be like the Black Templar black. I'm going to try and do contrast paint as much as I can here.
Well, you should be able to apply contrast over the entirety of the model. We were just talking a moment ago about the little details, like the little straps that are hanging onto the skulls and stuff.
Yeah.
And as long as you're careful in the application, you totally can come in and do those areas, as long as you're deliberate. But if we kind of slapdash the paint onto the model, you might have to correct at some points, because the big thing about these paints is that they are transparent, so that whatever is underneath will show through the next layer.
Going to be. So like things like the skull, the hand holding the skull here. Now I do the skull first. I'm not careful enough with the hand, and the flesh spills over to the skull. How do you fix something like that? You just,
right, you can. Okay. You can totally fix it. Basically, you're just going to take that same color base color and apply it over that, and then I'll come in with the contrast again.
All right. Well,
you can correct and put colors on top.
I guess I might as well get us started then.
And so the model has been affixed to a pin vise, just so that Luka can basically, fix it to a base later on, because he is probably going to use this model.
Yep. So I've never used this before. I heard Games Workshop tooting thick layers. Just get it right on that brush and start going at it.
Yeah, apply it like you would a shade wash. Now you've used plenty of shade wash.
With the brush first and then dry it, or just use a dry brush?
Yeah, you're fine with the dry brush.
Right,
yeah.
So
he just means that the brush is not wet already.
The brush is already pretty.
It's been sitting on my desk since yesterday.
You know what? Let's just
have right at it, buddy.
Thick, yes. Maybe not. Oh,
yeah.
We'll see. Okay, we're gonna go.
Apply it like you would a shade wash. So go about it in the same fashion that you would.
I guess I don't care if I overlap that top part there, because I'm going to be putting a black up there. Now, do you do multiple layers of this, or just...
You can.
You can. Right.
But as I mentioned, when you apply more layers, the color underneath will show through, and it will visually blend. So, for example, like with yellow, and you lay a blue on top of it, it will your eye will see green. The colors don't actually mix, but you visually see a different color.
Interesting.
I can't remember what that property is called, but I'm sure somebody really smart out there. And of course, Luka is also working on the model. It was primed in Corax white. If anybody was wondering exactly what he's painting on top of.
It was a little sloppy there. I hit the hand a wee bit. But you know what? Let's see where this goes. It's kind of cool how it works already. How long does it take to dry?
Takes it just as long as shade wash does.
All right.
So if you apply it fairly heavy and really heavy-handed over the model, it'll take a little while. If you apply it in a thin layer, it'll dry fairly quickly. It dries about as consistent as everything else with GW.
Just gonna go boom, 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 boom. Would you recommend always like a white, base coat, like a primer?
The primer?
Yeah.
GW recommends using their Wraithbone or Grey Seer, but in our experiences so far, we've seen that it applies on top of Corax White just fine. Now I have done some playing with zenithal pre-shading and such, and I'm finding that when you go too far black, you just lose the color.
Okay.
So if you go really deep and dark as far as your primer is concerned, like a black primer, yeah, there's no point in using these colors, because they're not going to show through. Even dark colors like this, they'll just disappear.
So that's, well, I guess, I'll do the undercloth too. Why not? I said I was going to do it, so I'll do it. It's got like a little leather jerkin in between the two there, as you can see. I'm painting around it. Jeez, a little weird.
Yeah, just paint it like you normally would paint it, and just
Well, painting on camera is weird, man.
Who knows? You might be making tutorials one day.
Sick.
That word.
That's tight.
That's tight. Painting on camera is tight.
Alright. Oh, geez, there's so much cloth. It's okay. This is going by pretty quickly, actually. I'm pretty pleased. What is that? You got like a bubbles pooling up in there. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, if you move the brush around to the same area, just like the shade washes, you'll get little bubbles, as it moves over a textured surface and such. You'll see it mostly on really highly textured surfaces. You'll get those bubbles. You get it sometimes on flat surfaces, but any really thin, liquidy medium will end up doing that.
Okay, so that is pretty much his undercloak thingy. And I was going to do the top one in a black. So do I just like wash the brush, dry it off, wash the black?
Yeah, wash the brush.
You think it's thick enough? Like, is that should
you tell me.
I don't know. We'll find out when it dries, I guess, won't we?
Yeah. Oh, like I said, like this isn't a video on Luka painting some sort of undead duder.
It's a necromancer.
Sure. That word. And no, this is all about your thoughts on this paint system. So after applying that gray, how did you feel with it being applied to this model surface? Now you've got that done somewhat quickly. We're still waiting for it to dry.
Right.
But so far, what are you thinking?
Well, super easy application. Like you said, it goes on just like a shade. Jesus, this is awkward. And then this is the black Templar I'm putting on here. So it goes on easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This is actually kind of a weird black. It's almost like greenish, or am I blind? I like it. I'll use it.
You might be having a stroke.
I might be having an issue here. That's black. Yeah, that's black. That's definitely black, right? That's black, right?
What you're seeing is that underlayer coming through, like the primer, because of the nature of the color. And so it's creating those high points for you, and it's falling dark in the shadows, but it's giving you those brighter edges. So that may be kind of messing with your eye, but let it do its thing. Just let it happen.
I hit the blue a little bit. I'm not used to I don't know, big brush. I guess it's not really that big of a brush.
Yeah,
this is a nice brush though. I like this brush.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and of course, anybody's wondering what brush he's using. He's using the GW Shade Wash brush to apply this. I pretty much had everybody using that brush to apply this stuff. Again, because the thoughts are that this applies like a shade wash, and so why not, initially start out using it as such, because I think a lot of people who are going to get into this paint system, I think this is the route they're going to end up going.
Cool. No, I got to do the inside. Trying to like...
Yeah, you're not paying for the Golden Demon here, buddy. I mean,
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
But like I said, now see, Luka is applying this, and he's being fairly deliberate where he's applying it, because again, he's got multiple colors going on. But this is something he's going to end up using in videos. So you're going to see this model later on in videos. Keep an eye out for that in the future for anybody who's watching this in the past or anything like that. But you do have to be careful too, because your initial layer of the gray is still wet, and so you're moving in. Normally, I would advise wait for that layer to dry before moving in with the next color, just so that you don't hit any areas where they could possibly blend together.
Right.
Because the colors will blend. It's kind of like a wet on wet. But again, it's kind of one of those things where it's an opportunity to learn a new technique and play around and experiment. And for new people, experimenting is what it's all about. That's how we learn, by playing and everything like that.
Jeez. Okay, and he's got like a little leather jerky. I don't know what to do with the headdress piece there, but I'm not going to worry about that, I guess.
Oh, his big collar?
Yeah, his collar thing. I guess I can do the same color. What would you recommend? What do you think?
The gray would be cool.
The gray on the collar?
Yeah, the gray would be cool. Personally, I probably would go with a color or something like that, but
Like a red. Ooh, I love reds.
or purple or whatever. I don't know. It's your model. You're going to be using it in videos, so who knows?
I feel like the Space Wolf. Well, I guess it's literally drawing the Space Wolf color, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what do I expect? I usually always like darker models, so anything lighter, I'm like, it's okay, I guess. But
Well, and that's the thing. Like, we can wait until that Space Wolf gray dries, and you can come in and apply a second layer if you like.
it's true.
There's nothing that's in the system that says that you can't apply another layer with these colors.
So this is the Wildwood.
Wildwood.
Yes, this is the. I'm gonna
It's a
put
nice
this,
dark brown.
Put this on the staff.
The staff. Okay. So, like I said before, I would, if you're, just be deliberate in where you're applying it. Yeah. But continue apply. Yeah, there you go. Look at this. See, look at that. I can see that from here. How that immediately picks out all that wood texture right away.
Yeah, I like that. I like them. Like I said, I like darker colors. I'm a huge fan of this.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
The browns, I've mentioned in a few videos that the browns, like if anybody's considering picking these colors up, definitely pick up the browns because they're just too darn good. They're just, like for straps and, pouches and things like that, like the little fiddly details that a lot of times don't want to, bother with, like, having to like shade wash and put a highlight on them. This is a nice quick way to get a nice decent tabletop look to those areas.
Yeah, I found I've always struggled with browns, and I don't even have a. Do you have a favorite brown? Like,
No,
I don't have a favorite brown. I like this brown though.
although mind you, with this new system, I'm a big fan of snakebite leather, but that's the
Snakebite
nostalgic part of me as well.
I'm just gonna paint that. I was gonna paint over the ropes now.
Yeah, just go over the ropes, 'cause-
I'll deal with the ropes later. They're a later problem.
because you can always come in with the opaque colors later and put that right on top of this stuff.
Okay.
These are all water-based acrylics, and they all work with each other.
Yeah. Luka likes brown. Look at this brown. What a beautiful brown.
That's really nice, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at how rich that is. That's super cool.
So far, my favorite contrast paint.
And of course, everybody who is wondering how it's looking right now, as far as Luka is painting it, just wait till the end of the video, and there will be some stills of his efforts at the end of the video. So, again, this is just more about his initial reaction to these paints.
Cool.
And so, Luka, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling accomplished. Like, look at me get through this guy. Oh, jeez, I'm also a sloppy painter, everyone.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Look at me go lickety split. I can't get the inside of that hand. I need a finer brush. But at the same time, I'm not.
If you want to switch to a finer brush to get there, we can.
Okay, so I'll do
Yeah,
that.
you're not confined to the brush. Chris doesn't really believe in limits.
Oh, that's beautiful.
No, it's no limits, man.
Can we quote that?
Yeah.
Chris doesn't believe in limits.
Yeah.
What do we got? What do we got here? Oh, this bad boy will do.
Yeah. Yeah, use one of my better brushes, that nice Artist Opus brush. Go ahead, use it. Fine sable brush.
Is that?
No, I'm
is
just
this like
kidding.
a really expensive brush or something? What are we doing? Wow, this brush is so nice, Chris. Like, I'm so sorry. It's like, oh, sorry. You know what? Stupid necromancer. There we go. There, just for that little piece.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Rinse it off really good, though.
I'll clean this one off nice and. How do you like to clean a brush? I like to just kind of twirl it. You like to do that?
Yeah, get some agitation happening.
I like to kind of like twist it up against the side of the cup. And, look at that. So it should be fine. Perfect. Safe. Okay, so we got the wood drying. The next step is.
What do you want to tackle next?
We
The
could
bone?
do the bone. Yeah, sure. You know,
Let's
that's a
do
good
the bone.
idea. Bone's a great idea.
Yeah.
What is the skeleton horde?
Skeleton Horde. The Skeleton Hordes are really fantastic.
So that's weird because so the thing that's throwing me off the contrast paints is like the color in the pot is sometimes not the same as the it pretty much is. It seems like it's different. Like the flesh, the Gilliman flesh, you're saying it's like Cadian flesh, but it looks much darker than that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we got here? So we got some weird mud-looking bone here. Let's let's
You
just
can just slap
do it.
Slap it on, yeah.
Slap it on there. All right, so we got some skeleton skulls up here. More paint.
And I can see from here that already looks really awesome. Like it's such a fast system, right?
Yeah.
So again, like what are you thinking as you're working your way through? I mean, we're at 15 minutes here for this video so far, and I mean you're like what, halfway done this guy?
Oh, easily. Like maybe say for like, I'd probably do another layer of the spacewolf, but other than that, yeah, for sure. And other than picking out, like, at this point, it's got to pick out his flesh. I got to do the little skull on his hand, which is going to be, you know, I'm just going to go at it. Here we go. Here we go. You know what? His hand, whatever. His hand is getting scully.
Scully?
Scully, skull. I don't know. Let's see how, yeah, it's, I got a little sloppy on the under part of the skull, but no one needs to see that. That's like pretty much. No, that's pretty. Yeah, it's almost hard to believe. Like, oh, I'm done already. The skulls, right? Like,
yeah. Bang! You're done with skulls. So imagine doing like a skeleton army.
Oh, jeez. I like things like that. I can picture already. You prime them all, and you just get real liberal with this stuff on those guys. Wait for them all to dry. Pick out the metals with, I guess, these contrast paints.
Well, there's no metallics within the contrast.
There isn't?
No, there's no metallics.
Interesting. Well, then you just do metals the old school way, I guess. We'll do a flesh, I suppose. What did we pick? Oh, so I wanted to do
a light flesh. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to do like a gaunt, pale, sickly-looking flesh, and then you recommended a watered-down version of gilded flesh.
So let's grab. Well, you can grab the contrast thinner.
Where's that? Storm Shield, Ard Coat. Where's the thinner here?
Over there. No, it's right there. It's that one. Yeah, right there. That's got to be it. That's
medium. That is, you're right. Okay, well,
yeah.
Let's shake it. So, am I just mixing right here?
Yeah, you can mix it right on the surface there.
Okay,
that's essentially my palette.
What ratio?
I would. Okay, yeah, just grab that.
You know what?
Grab a nice heavy helping onto the palette. Yeah.
There we go.
Lots to work with. That's okay. Grab another dollop. Give a nice heavy helping there. Then wash the brush really, really good.
Real good.
Yeah, and then grab some of the thinner. You can close that bottle up too. But yeah, really good. Because you don't want to contaminate the medium.
I put a little more. I don't want to contaminate the medium, everyone.
Don't get nervous.
Me? Never.
It's okay.
Okay. And then we're thinking...
Just grab two and just set it beside. Don't put it right into the dollop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just grab a nice big heavy helping. Yeah, there you go. There. That's plenty. And then you can mix the two in together.
In just one little happy little pool.
Or you can even grab like a little bit and just mix it into the medium portion. Just use the same brush. Yeah, you don't have to rinse it off or anything like that. Just grab it and bring it up to kind of the consistency you think you should be at.
Oh, geez.
Just use your intuition. Whatever looks, you know what I mean?
A little bit darker than that. Oh, geez, look at me. I don't even do this for my normal models.
Yeah, you don't do a lot of mixing or anything like that?
I don't do a lot of mixing. Let's try this. Let's see how this makes me feel. Let me do the arm here.
Yeah, the same way. Apply it fairly generously, like a shade wash. And if it is a little too heavy, you can always come back and either establish another highlight. If it's not the right color value for you, you could always lay another layer down. It looks pretty heavy when you're initially laying it on, but it will tone down a bit once it starts to dry. A little bit, not much.
And then for the hair, what do you just use the black for the hair? Like, I always like to do just a black with like a lot of like lighter highlights, like I'm in the storm mesh and gray and all that kind of stuff. Just like really old gray looking hair.
Yeah.
Ooh, see, I got a little bit of blue from the. How to fix how would you go about fixing something like that blue there I got on the hand? So
if you got a little bit of blue on the hand, and if you caught that before you had laid the color down, you could have came in with your base color, which would in this instance be Corax white.
Right.
Or you could have came in with ceramite white or white scar. Ceramite white I would have probably used because it's nice and heavy pigmented. And then just put it right on top of that, clean it up, and then came right in with the flesh tone.
So the flesh is okay. So what I'll probably do if that flesh dries, when that flesh dries, I'll probably just go over it. It's a little too light. Like the white's kind of showing up too much, I think.
Well, from where I'm sitting, he looks pretty darn good. But let's wait until he's dry.
Okay.
You wanted to come in with the Space Wolf again.
Yeah.
And
you know what? You're right. It is dry. So.
Yeah, the space, and we're hitting almost the 20-minute mark here, so I don't want to take up too much of your time here. I know we're getting into painting here, but are you enjoying this? Like that? Yeah, I guess that's another big reaction here is, are you enjoying this?
Yes, I'm kind of curious how quickly I could finish this model to a point where I'm like, I like this. The contrast paints are interesting. It's got there's so many too. Like you can just, that's cool.
So you're envisioning all the possibilities and things of that nature. Now again, bear in mind as you apply the second layer, it's going to get really deep.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
That means that like it's going to get really dark in the shadows, and think about where you're applying it. Now see, like where you applied it initially there looks really good, and I wouldn't go too heavy on the upper portions and allow that lighter
work
gray.
Your way up kind of thing.
Well, bring the color darker downwards. So your brush stroke has been starting at like a higher point and then bringing downwards.
Right.
But like how you just did it,
keep doing that.
That looks really good. Yeah.
So start like up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So start up here and then just.
Yeah, just bring it down. There you go. Yeah. And later on, I'll explain to you why the direction of your brush stroke is important.
Is that like basic painter's knowledge?
Yeah, it's a kind of basic. It's a basic glazing knowledge kind of thing. Basically, it's just when we're glazing and we're working with thin colors like this, that you want to finish your brush stroke where you want the color to build.
I can already. Yeah, I like that way more.
Yeah, that looks a lot stronger. That looks really good.
Yeah.
And the beauty is that like, are you noticing, because like that first layer you laid on initially was somewhat heavy, right?
Yeah.
But are you feeling like the paint is becoming thick and it's obscuring details at all, or you know what I mean? Or are you concerned about that? Are you even noticing that, or?
No, I'm not concerned about that at all. I'm just really liking the double layer, the Space Wolf gray though. That's a really good color. I like that. The Space Wolf. I thought it was a little too light at first, and then you know what? Why not just add a second layer? Beautiful stuff. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful. So that's all kind of all well and done. The inside, sure. Why not? Let's do that too. So, see, I'm of the type that like, the inside to me not super important because I never see it. I always kind of paint for myself. And I'm like, if I don't see the inside, I'm not too concerned about it. But
well, and there's a lot of people who feel that way, right? You're only painting for yourself, and this, I mean, allows you to get your models done, and get playing, right? And the only person you want to impress is yourself, really, because these are your models. You're going to paint them up however you want, right?
Right.
So we're hitting about past the 20-minute mark here. I don't want to go too long here. So we're going to leave it there for the moment. And so what are your initial thoughts here? Or initial thoughts. What are your reaction now, having applied that second layer, and how easily you went through this process? I'm
about as impressed as I thought it'd be. Like, I knew right away. I was a big fan of the contrast paints just from the description. From watching the videos of people use them and the capabilities of them. It's definitely not like lazy painting. It is. I'm having a hard time to put it into words.
Sure.
When you go home, you finish work, and you're like, oh, I need to go paint, and then you look at your models, and you're like, you're just gonna let yourself down. You're gonna go do something else. You're gonna go watch TV. You're gonna play video games. You're gonna go see your friends instead. Now with this, you could very easily just be like, okay, well, I'll do a little bit. You do a little bit, and it's like, oh, look how much work I got done, and I do a little bit more. Whereas this guy would normally take me, I don't know, 2 hours to do a character usually, like all the proper steps and everything. Like, wow, even the black is like, I can see how it works with the under the white with the highlighting. That's really nice. I could probably have this guy done in the next 20 minutes to do a happy level for myself. Like, all I have to do is paint the leather there, his little feeties, his little neck piece thing, and like the baggies, and done. That was a book too. But I am very impressed, and this is so helpful for skeletons, for Skaven, for bloodletters. Oh geez, is there a good Nurgle color?
Yep.
It's really good Nurgle color.
Plague Bearer.
They're actually nice. Yeah, that's probably amazing. So now for Plague, like for myself, what I used to do is I'd prime white, and then I would do like camo shade, 2 layers of camo shade, then I do some Agraxar shade, and like blotches here and there to make it like different colored, and then like all you probably have to do is apply 1 layer of this and like do whatever, maybe a little bit of brown here and there, and you're done. Like, it's so, I love it. Yeah, I'm calling me impressed.
Color you impressed. Well, there you go. You've heard it from MiniWarGamer Luka. We're going to color him impressed.
I want to imagine I fall in the group of like the most, not average painters, like the most average like wargamer out there when it comes to painting. Is like, oh, I know I need to get it done, but I don't want to get it done. And it feels really rewarding when you can get it done. Now, for everyone it feels rewarding, but It's hard to push yourself to want to do it.
That is it right on the nose, I think. And that's why I thought it was really important to get your opinion on this, because not to sound disparaging or anything like that, but you're kind of the middle of the road as far as the painters are around here.
100%, yeah.
You know, and...
Like, I'll be the first to admit that.
You know, I mean, like, you paint. You like painting. You haven't been painting all that long, but, you know, you're not overly concerned with your painting. Like, say, for example, like Vito and myself, you know, where we take a lot of pride in our ability to paint, you know, and so...
Yeah, I definitely, I don't mind people being critical of my work. I know exactly what level I can paint to, and I'm just in love with this brown. Guys, what is this? Wildwood is so good. Okay, that's like the perfect brown. Okay, I like dark colors. That's like a perfect dark brown without it being like, I find Rhine Oxide to be a little too dark. Mm-hmm. It's like very dark reddish brown. This is like, I don't know, I can't even put it in words. It's so good. I didn't do the leather one in the snake bite when you said, but this is my favorite color for sure. Like, I like the double layer of Space Wolf Gray. That brown, 100%. Biggest favorite color right there. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, thank you, Luka, for testing these out for us and sharing your thoughts. And so if everybody else found this one interesting, again, at the end of this video, we'll have a little still here so you can see Luka's efforts. And... thank you for watching. Be sure to check these paints out yourself if this has piqued your interest. And
happy wargaming.
Happy wargaming. That's it.